Hello everyone, Nate here from Octave Studios. I just thought I would do a quick video while I'm out and about getting my daily coffee. And I was having a conversation with someone earlier today, and that spawned me into thinking, what is it that bands, more specifically newer bands, what is it that they need to do to properly gain momentum and get themselves out there? Now, I feel a lot of people kind of look at this in the old traditional aspect of the 80s and the 90s and even the early 2000s. Go out there, play a bunch of shows, hit the studio, record an album, play a bunch more shows, get some merch, get out there, keep recording albums and all this fun shit. And that works to an extent, but there's a lot of flaws with that as well. Now, if you're trying to go and play a bunch of shows, that's generally actually the easiest thing, the one thing you do want to do. That is the biggest thing you want to do. You don't want to overplay yourself, though, in these areas. Recording music, that's a great idea. Definitely want to do that. And honestly, creating merch, that's a great way to get your name out there. So why wouldn't you want to do that? Well, here's what I think bands should be doing with all of that in mind. If you're a newer band and you want to make the biggest splash, bunker yourselves down for 3 months or so together. And these are just rough dates, by the way. Get your group together, write 5 songs. Really play the piss out of those 5 songs. Maybe play one show, but, you know, really just focus on those 5 songs first. Then, what you need to do is go and record something. Don't do a full album though. That is a mistake. The main thing I think bands need to be doing right now, singles. Especially if you are a new band. You do not need to waste 4+ months working on an EP or working on an LP on your own specifically, and then stressing yourself over everything on that, putting yourself in the hole financially to fund it. Or there are better ways to do things. Now you need to take those 5 songs and you need to figure out which one is your strongest. Which one is the best one you got? Hell, bring a few people down to your jam space and play them for them. Ask them, what songs do you think are our best? Now, go and record that one song. You can get it done in a weekend if you really get your material down. From there, now you don't have to worry about the stresses of working on an entire album. You have something that you can get out to the public, and you also now have the experience of working in a studio. You know what it's like. You now know what to expect when you go in next time. Now, what if you repeated this process every few months? Write 5 songs, deliver a single, get that out there, play some shows, see how all the songs are reacting, maybe write more new material as you're going on, and then after that, record the next song that seems to have the best crowd reaction. And now what you do is you're learning what works and what doesn't work for your band and what attracts people to your band and your music. If you're only recording everything you write, I'm sorry, as much as we all want to believe it, not everything we write is gold. We all write bad songs, we all write bad sections, we all have bad riffs. That's just the long short of it. But that doesn't mean we don't have things that do connect with people. And if you really focus on making sure that you do that, and that you focus on recording the music that actually grasps people, you'll be set. Now imagine if you're playing your shows, you're hitting your area, and you're releasing a new single every 2 or 3 months. Now you got something that you're able to advertise yourself off of every 3 or 4 months to show that you're active, you're constantly doing something new, which is what people really want to see. They want to see bands that are showing a desire to progress forward. And then you're giving people something as well. Instead of making people wait a year per release, which honestly a lot of people don't want to do anymore, you can now, as a newer band, just put out music on a regular basis throughout the year. And then when you get a big enough fan base, then maybe you can look at, okay, now let's do an EP. We've written X amount of songs. We've recorded about 5 or 6 of those songs as singles. What else do we have that is strong enough to work? Or, better yet, what can we now write to capitalize off of this to make everything work out for us? And now if you go in with this mindset of you've learned what works and what doesn't work, you have gotten stuff out there into your scene, and now you're starting to play shows, you'll notice you're starting to get momentum. You might start to get more people coming to your shows. You might get more streams. You might just find out that your band is more known through word of mouth because you're constantly pushing stuff out there. And that's really what you want to do. In the modern era, people don't want to wait a year per release. If you look on Spotify, and especially in the hip-hop genre, there are guys releasing only singles, and they're doing fantastic. So I think the real thing we got to consider here as musicians is if you want to get out there and you want to try to get shit done, don't try to destroy yourself with these long projects, these 5 to 10 song projects as a newer band, where you're going to be actually taking away way more time than you need to. If you would say to work 4 or 5 months on an LP, you know what you could have done? You could have, at this point, Instead of wasting 4 months recording an album, you could have spent that time working on a single, playing some shows, and writing better songs, because we always write better material as we work together and we work on our chemistry. If you're a newer band, your focus should be writing a lot of material, testing it out, and seeing how it works. Don't take everything to the studio. Don't try to waste your time with the idea of, oh, we have to release a 5-track album every once in a while. That's not how things work anymore. Things have changed drastically, and you can save yourself a lot of stress by dealing with that and not allowing yourself to fall into that old mentality of, again, you have to record X amount of songs. So with all that being said, so what I have at the bottom is I'm going to have a small little checklist of things that a newer band can do to help themselves out. There'll be a PDF file, just be a checklist of things to do, things to not do, and you don't have to take my word for it. If there's some things on the don't list that you want to try out, go ahead. I mean, I put it on that list just because I found it didn't work, or I found it was more stress than it was worth. And overall, I do feel that if newer bands kind of shift their mentality a bit, things will be a lot easier for us. Things will be a lot smoother for you. We'll see more excitement going on, because I know one thing that disappoints fans going to shows is seeing the same band play the same song. And even if you like those songs, especially in the underground, you want to see bands constantly pushing forward, and you won't do that with the mentality of old. So with that, best of luck to all of you. I hope you all have a wonderful day. If you are ever in need of some mixing or mastering services, feel free to give me an email at natebonnet@octavestudiosmh.com. We do offer mixing, mastering, and live tracking for either live videos or EP and LP and single recordings. So you guys, best of luck. Do what you need to do. Remember, work smarter, not harder. And remember, at the end, this is all about having fun and being creative. Enjoy your day.